lots of exciting developments. But of course, the other issue that we've been hearing about is climate change, sustainability, various environmental issues. How have those issues been received by the business community? What are they looking at as realistic things to do with regard to sustainability, environmental security, and things like that?
Like in our case, I think most businesses should invest in sustainable, renewable energy. Like in our mall, our resorts, we have invested in solar panels.
Okay. Has the cost come down at all? Because in the past, the problem, I think, was it was very expensive. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I hear that the prices have been going down quite a bit lately. Is that what you're experiencing?
Yes, there's been a lot of overproduction. So the cost of solar cells has now dropped a lot.
Okay.
So it's now quite cost efficient.
Okay.
To invest in these solar panels. Okay. Especially now with the cost of coal and energy sky high.
That's right.
It's even the ROI is even better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like in our resorts also, we invest in rain water conservation.
Okay, all right.
That's right. No, so we reuse the rains in the catchment areas.
Right. Can you talk about that? I mean, what kind of technologies did you look at? Did it come from China, from elsewhere?
It's not.
Is it local?
Yeah, it's not anything high tech, no.
Okay.
It's local.
Okay. Even better.
That's right. That's right. All of these are conserving the environment.
Right.
Okay. And we work with local fishermen and farmers to plant green produce, and we buy from them. We encourage them to use biodegradable fertilizers, things like that, manure.
Right.
So all of these are part of our CSR.
Right.
For conservation and to protect and preserve the environment.
Right. You know, in the past, some businessmen would look at that as added cost, right? And so therefore they may think twice about it. But are you seeing benefits? I mean, maybe intangible ones, or maybe at least, or maybe even some financial rewards for being more environmentally responsible?
Well, the initial investment may be a bit more, but over the long run, it's certainly worth it.
Okay.
Not only
so it makes business sense.
It makes business sense, definitely. And our foreign and local clients, the tourists, the hotel guests, they really appreciate us going out of our way to be environmentally conscious. And I think these days they're even willing to pay a bit more.
I heard about that. There's some
to stay in green hotels.
They're willing to pay a premium for that.
Yes, that's right. So in the end, it's worth investing. In all this green technology.
Right. But is there something, again, going back to the government, because we're still fairly new with this new administration, is there anything that the government could look at as interventions, policy interventions, that encourages maybe a faster take-up on these technologies, on these new investments, to make it more, to make businesses more sustainable?
I think we can allow duty-free import of all these solar panels technology, and then we can provide tax credits to hotels and other business establishments who invest in this kind of technology.
But you also mentioned an interesting thing. You're working with local fishermen, local farmers, to produce goods that you use for for your establishments. Is that something that can be encouraged? I mean, is there something that would encourage that? If there was a new policy, new law, is there something that you can that you've seen or heard of that can maybe encourage that?
doesn't really need a new law. In our case, we take it upon ourselves. That's right. And I would encourage more businessmen, like our resorts are in Puerto Princesa, in Palawan, in Bohol.
Right.
So in these far-flung areas, it's incumbent upon business establishments like us to work with the local communities to give them better wages, for them to have better, higher take-home pay.
Right.
So that's what some of the little things that we can do for the communities that we are in.
Right. And would you care maybe to share some specific stories that maybe that others might find inspiring to hear some of these engagements with local farmers? And
well, in our case, not only do we help them by direct from them, we also have regular financial education seminars for them. Yeah, because many of them are not financially literate.
I see.
So we teach them to avoid loan sharks, online lending agencies. That they would find very difficult to dig themselves out of. So we teach them all that.
Yeah. In terms of the availability of a good workforce, I mean, how you said you're helping local communities with financial literacy. Of course, your hotels require certain standards to serve international guests, right? What are some of the things that can be done in the education sector to make it easier for you guys to provide quality?
Well, in our case, we even put up our own culinary and hospitality institute. So we train ourselves, the people in the communities where we are. We train them through different modules, and then after they graduate, we hire them. So that they can meet even Metro Manila standards already.
Now, we did something like that with Manila Times, except that they ended up with the Inquirers and the APCU.
Yes, that's true.
Do you see the same thing?
Yes, after we train them, of course, some of them would prefer to work abroad in cruise ships, etc. But that's the small price we pay.
So you don't see a problem with that?
Yeah, there's this psychic rewards of seeing them do so much better in life.
Right. Well, for us, we've been resigned to our role as maybe a training newspaper. Maybe
I think it's the same. We have the same experience.
Of course, you can't stop them from pursuing opportunities, right?
That's right. So we take it as a matter of pride that our graduates of the Astoria Culinary Institute can even go abroad, find far better paying jobs abroad. But some of them, after a few years, they do come back and tell us how appreciative they are. And then that you are able to maybe engage with them later on in the future on maybe some other things, right? Yes, and then some of them after a few years they get tired of working abroad and they come back and
with
we
experience,
get them again. Exactly. And now they're promoted as managers.
Let me shift it a little here and ask you about 2023. Right? What does Mr. Jeffrey Nang see ahead? What are the opportunities that other businessmen should be looking at as potential opportunities?
Well, I think I would be cautiously optimistic. Interest rates are slightly going up. So we have to be a bit cautious, but nevertheless, I think there will be revenge spending, revenge traveling next year. So we should try to take advantage of these opportunities.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that we're seeing the economist side of you. You mentioned that sector. Is there anything else that you're seeing? Because most of the problems, some say that we're experiencing now are really external, right? Inflation being one of them.
That's right.
Of course, the supply chain disruptions. But they also say that there's opportunity where there's crisis, right? Are you looking at some some expansions, new markets? Are you looking at
well, I'm
new
looking
projects?
forward to expanding our resorts, hotels, and even subdivision developments. We're launching new projects to cater to the domestic market next year. We recently launched a new commercial project called the Kresge Estates.
Okay. Where's that?
That's beside the Chiang Kai-shek
okay, in Santa Rosa.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So I'm quite bullish about the local real estate land development industry. Okay. Even housing. There's a 6.7 million housing backlog in the country.
Wow.
Yeah. So many developers are have their hands full trying to meet that backlog.
Right. So we'll be on your tail, watching where you put your money. Maybe that will give us an idea of where we can invest as well. Mr. Jeffrey, thank you very much for making time for the show.
My pleasure.
Before we leave, maybe you'd like to leave a message to our viewers?
Well, I think let's all be prepared for the coming recovery.
Okay.
Our country has just gone through 2 years of lockdown, and the Filipino people are very eager to spend, to invest, to travel next year and in the coming years. So let's prepare for that.
Right. So be ready.
That's right.
All right.